Video games are tough to design and develop, and stealth-oriented titles can be especially challenging. Creating fun and memorable levels on top is even more daunting. Nevertheless, many titles have pulled it off, resulting in some of the best gameplay experiences in history. Let's take a look at 15 games with amazing levels that made stealth a blast. Bathhouse, Splinter Cell, Chaos Theory. Of the many places that Sam Fisher has infiltrated, you wouldn't think a bathhouse in Tokyo would provide many challenges. Nevertheless, Chaos Theory's bathhouse mission, which involves gaining entry into the location and discovering Douglas Shetland's contact, it's surprisingly tense. After Fisher eavesdrops on the conversation, he'll then need to survive a battle between the ISDF and mercenaries before subsequently neutralizing Shetland's bombs. On the plus side, at least the player can decide to stab or throw Shetland off the roof instead of shooting him, since Sam finds it more courteous, we think. The Tanker, Metal Gear Solid 2: Sons of Liberty. In terms of openings, the Tanker chapter from Metal Gear Solid 2: Sons of Liberty ranks as one of the best. It's also an excellent sneaking mission, presenting players with a healthy amount of options and still providing a challenge thanks to the improved AI. Even the fight with Olga is interesting since it emphasizes stealth instead of fighting her directly. Batman: Arkham City, Return to Mr. Freeze. Though technically a mission, the boss fight with Mr. Freeze is the main appeal here. It's made abundantly clear that attacking Freeze from the front is a bad idea. Instead, you'll need to rely on stealth, timing, and trickery to overcome him. Said tactics include takedowns, like when near a window or overhead, or simply sneaking up from behind. You can also deploy explosive gel on walls and detonate them when Freeze gets close enough, execute a glide attack, and more. The kicker is that each tactic will only work once as Freeze deploys countermeasures, so you'll need to stay frosty. No pun intended. A Crack in the Slab, Dishonored 2. One of the most inventive missions in the series, A Crack in the Slab sees Corvo or Emily navigating the Stilton Manor to learn more about Delilah Copperson. But as always, there's a catch. Neither character's abilities will work inside, and they must rely on the timepiece to shift between the present and the past. The latter still has guards roaming about, and there are some puzzles to solve en route to deciding the fate of Aramis Stilton, for a better or a worse future. Punish the Evil Merchant, Tenchu. Tenchu is pretty unforgiving, especially when attempting to play as stealthily as possible. You'll learn this in the very first mission in Stealth Assassins, which requires slaying Ichigoya, a shady merchant. The nearby buildings provide plenty of chances to grapple away and avoid the guards, but one must still be mindful of civilians who can't be hurt at all. Even though Ichigoya isn't a master combatant, he still has a matchlock pistol to be wary of. Invitation to a Party, Hitman 2: Silent Assassin. Codename 47 may have started the series, but Hitman 2: Silent Assassin is where its gameplay excelled. We started to see more options and missions that rewarded stealth, discretion, and clever thinking, like Invitation to a Party. The objective is to kill General Vladimir Zhukov in the embassy during a party and steal a briefcase from his safe. So one option could involve disguising yourself as a waiter, obtaining a bottle of poison, and spike his drink. A Spetsnaz agent is also on the loose, and if you obtain the briefcase first, he'll attempt to ambush you and take it back. The sheer number of twists, turns, and emergent moments offered by this mission are simply amazing, especially considering this is a 2002 game. Life of the Party, Thief 2: The Metal Age. Garrett isn't exactly in the best state prior to this mission due to the assassination attempt by the Mechanists. After agreeing to work with Victoria, the new leader of the Pagans, he must venture to a tower in Dayport, infiltrate Kara's party, and learn more about the Cetus project. First, one must travel across the rooftops and avoid the streets. Upon reaching the tower, there's also heavy security to deal with, making it much more exhilarating when trying to steal loot, not kill anyone, if you're playing on hard or expert, and still escape. CIA Headquarters, Splinter Cell. When a mole infiltrates the Central Intelligence Agency, who else but Sam Fisher can lure them out? It's far from easy, though, as Fisher must infiltrate the CIA's headquarters, access its central server to find the information leak, and ascertain the mole's identity. There are two problems, though. No agents can be killed, nor alarms triggered. Otherwise, the mission fails. Stealth is your only real option, and it's especially challenging when one has to kidnap and extract the mole for questioning. Lady Boyle's Last Party, Dishonored. Lady Boyle has to die in Arcane Studios' Dishonored, but Corvo doesn't know her face. He must thus infiltrate Boyle's mansion, identify his target, and take her out. After entering, whether it's through blinking, sneaking through the sewers, or getting an actual invitation through various means, Corvo begins his investigation. First, he must discover which of the mask-wearing partygoers is Lady Boyle. This can be done by chatting up various guests or investigating their rooms via sneaking. However, there are 3 sisters with the name Boyle, and you must discover the correct one to kill. If that wasn't enough, the target is randomized in each playthrough. Stealth and cunning are the keys to success, along with some patience. The Murder of Crows, Hitman, Blood Money. The Hitman franchise has always been about assassination with imagination, as you slay targets in unique and clever ways. Hitman Blood Money was no exception, and the Murder of Crows is one of its best missions. You're tasked with assassinating 3 targets during a Mardi Gras parade, and maybe make off with a case of diamonds if you're lucky. Each can be disposed of in different ways, whether it's planting a mine in a briefcase for Mark Pariah II, killing Angelina Mason in the alleys, which carries a good amount of risk, or picking from one of 3 restaurants to end Raymond Kalinsky. The sheer amount of civilians add to the risk and forces you to be as discreet as possible. Flight of Fancy, Sly 3, Honor Among Thieves. Operation Turbo Dominant Eagle sees Sly Cooper and Cohart Murray taking part in the Aces competition to defeat the Black Baron. But getting there requires several tasks, from stealing the flight roster to framing the Iceland and Belgium teams and even tranquilizing a giant wolf to take down some pilots. Is it zany? Yeah, sure, but the amount of variety and high stakes makes it one of the better missions in the franchise. Mission 3, Deus Ex. While eventually culminating in LaGuardia Airport as Adam Jensen looks for Ambrosia, it's a journey to get there. First, you'll have to find the secret passage in Brooklyn Bridge Station that leads to the mole tunnels and must restore water to the homeless. Once that's done, it's a tense sneaking mission through the tunnels, avoiding NSF hostiles. Upon arriving at LaGuardia Helibase, there are still turrets and security robots to deal with before even reaching the airfield, which is also full of hazards. Hanagakuen, Shadow Tactics, Blades of the Shogun, Aiko's Choice. Mimimi Productions' Shadow Tactics is already one of the best real-time tactical stealth titles available, but Aiko's Choice adds even more great missions on top. Hanagakuen is a good example, as the group must first gain access via a statue puzzle, reach the front gate with some hidden traps coming in handy, use the various secret paths on the estate to sneak about, and assassinate Lady Chiyo. This can be done in one of 2 ways, either with explosive incense at the shrine or poison gas on the theater stage. The former requires explosive powder from the storage area, while the latter needs an alchemy table to mix the poison gas, which only Takuma can do. On top of all this, Aiko must disguise herself in both scenarios to get close. Both approaches, combined with mission layouts, are extremely tense but tons of fun to execute. The Bridge at Eagle Falls, Desperados 3. What would a Wild West game be without the option to destroy a bridge? In the case of Desperados 3, the gang looks to blow up the Eagle Falls Railroad Bridge to foil the Devitt Company. The task involves looking for dynamite, either at the shooting range or the quarry, infiltrating the foundation of the bridge while avoiding any enemies, and blowing it up. Of course, you can't use firearms, so creativity is needed to earn badges, like killing guards with rolling logs or with the bridge explosion itself. Gaining access to Taeyong Medical, Deus Ex, Mankind Divided. Adam Jensen's mission to identify Seraph's attackers leads him to Taeyong Medical, a biotech facility. Infiltration requires obtaining an employee card, but things only get more difficult from there. Jensen must survive an ambush by the PMC bell tower, all while ensuring the survival of Ari van Bruggen, who's responsible for providing access to Taeyong. Though one could go guns blazing, stealth is arguably more practical even if there are guards, turrets, security cameras, and even an electrified floor to deal with. Hey, did you know that we at GamingBolt upload new videos every day? Stick around, drop a like, subscribe, and let us know what kind of content you'd like to see in the future with a comment below.